Buenos dias, brochachos, and welcome back to the 3K Challenge. Last week, 7 episodes into the challenge, I finally hit my first $200 milestone and enjoyed an adequate tasting meal of crab rangoon. But I'm gonna be honest, that rangoon was just not as good as I expected. It was a little dry and the filling was just kind of mid. I need significantly better rangoon, so I need to get back into the market, print some more Benjis, and enjoy the higher quality crab rangoon I so rightfully deserve. The comments last video talked a lot of trash. You guys thought I was cooked as soon as Iran and Israel started slinging missiles at each other. But you guys are wrong. This junior varsity war will be over in a matter of days. I'll show you exactly why, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Today is June 16th, and all that FUD about World War III is already getting cancelled. We're recovering from Friday's losses. Indices are up, and Soxal is above $21. I'll crack open Mumu, and I'm at $13,169. That's $110 more than my closing value on Friday on account of Soxal having a good morning. Right now, I've got 102 shares of Soxal after getting assigned 100 shares on Friday's $23 put. So I'm decently underwater here, but I'm not concerned in the least. Robinhood is also up a hair, and it's going to rise more. In fact, I am so confident that World War III is not happening that I'm going to hold off on selling a covered call. Selling my upside does not make sense since this ETF is going to sail higher than Iran's ballistic missiles. Once Soxal is above 22, then maybe I'll come back to this. Instead, I'm going to buy more shares of Soxal with my remaining cash and take advantage of the next leg up. Let's put in an order for 20 shares and lock in the trade. If Soxal does inexplicably decrease in price, I'll just buy some more. This stock is not going down anytime soon. With 122 shares of Soxal locked in, I'll explain why I am so bullish right now. Let's look at a map. We've got Israel over here and Iran right here. Look at this map and tell me how these two countries are going to escalate from here. They simply cannot do anything but punch each other with missiles and airstrikes. What's Israel going to do? March across Syria and Iraq? They'd suffer Allahu Akbar the entire way. There is no way in hell they're marching to Iran. On the other hand, Iran might get a free pass to march across Iraq and Syria since they have some proxies who can keep the Arabs off their backs. But there is a 100% chance that the US would deploy flying death machines out of Turkey and destroy Iran's columns. The US wouldn't even have to hit Iranian combat assets, just the fuel trucks. Then you've got Iranian armor sitting out in the desert sucking ass. 0% chance anyone marches across the ground. Okay, well what about sea lift? Israel could physically traverse the Suez and go around Yemen, but the Houthis would go apeshit and make that an extremely stressful experience. They've got submarine drones and all kinds of explodey things that would put Israeli ships underwater. So now you've got to suppress Yemen just to reach the Indian Ocean. And if they do make it to Iran, Israel would have to traverse the gnarliest mountains possible to fight their army. It's a no-go. And no way Iran tries to move by sea either. They'd never get past the Suez. All they could do is close the Strait of Hormuz and block oil traffic in the Persian Gulf. And that's a great move if they want Saudi Arabia to lose their minds and go all Sunni on them. Plus the US would sink the Iranian fleet immediately. So that leaves air insertion. The only way Israel moves combat power to Iran is if they do what's called an airfield seizure. You seize an airfield near your target and then start flying in combat power, delivering tanks and armored vehicles with heavy transport aircraft. The US did it in Panama, Grenada, Afghanistan, and Iraq, and will do it in the next war too. Russia tried it in Ukraine, but failed. It's a standard tactic if you can get the air assets in. It's extremely risky, and Israel does not have the firepower to do it. And if Iran did try to do this against Israel, they would all get shot down by US aircraft over Iraq. The only way airfield seizure happens is if the US helps Israel with seed fires, that's suppression of enemy air defense. If the US helps, Israel might be able to pull it off, but the US is not getting involved in this war. Cheeto is beating the war drums to scare Iran into a deal, but Trump just doesn't have the capital to get involved so directly. If Americans were to die, his legacy is cooked, and he can't have that. With all this in mind, there is simply no way either Israel or Iran will actually invade the other. Launching non-nuclear missiles back and forth at each other is all this war is going to amount to. But even if the US did get involved and escalate, that's still bullish, because we will win quickly, and winning a war is bullish. So no matter how you slice it, stocks go up. If Mango Salsa can tweet the Ayatollah into surrendering, all the better. You cannot stop this train. Stocks only go up. I'll check back in tomorrow. It's Tuesday morning, and just as I anticipated, Soxal is lifting off to cruising altitude, and I'm already closing in on my next round of Crab Rangoon. With Soxal sailing, I think now is the time to sell a pretty decently out of the money covered call to pull in some extra coin. Keep in mind that Juneteenth is Thursday, so the market is closed. That means there are only 3 trading days left on this position. I think the $23.50 strike is a realistic target for this week. That strike might even be a little low. But if it does hit, I'll have made enough money to do an airfield seizure on the Crab Rangoon factory, so I'm going to run with it. I'll place this trade at the ask. I'm going to look for a little over $30 in premium. I'm not getting an immediate fill, so I'll poke around Moomoo's task center for these moo points. There probably is some decent information here. If I were to actually read it, I might even learn something about the Fed. But my primary goal here is to collect points so I can trade them for share vouchers. It looks like Moomoo is also doing a cash offer for transferring cash or shares. I anticipate moving some money from my wife's Merrill Edge account into Moomoo so that I can get the $200 bonus and apply it to the Freeloader Challenge, which is still very much on. Now, I'll patiently wait for the Jews and Muslims to make peace in the Middle East, which should happen any day now. I'll check back in when Israel and Iran kiss and make up. It's Friday afternoon and the market is being entirely flaccid. I am very disappointed to see how flimsy we're closing the week. There are those who believe that this is due to triple witching, which means that stock options, and index futures are all expiring today. But that assessment is false. The real reason the market is showing no muscle today is because everyone is still shaky about the Iran-Israel situation. We're all just waiting for the other shoe to drop. President Trump said that he's reflecting on whether the US will help Israel beyond intercepting missiles. But those clinging to his every tweet hoping to get some more information are just getting fed some nonsense about new flagpoles. Allegedly, Cheeto wants to delay his decision by 2 weeks to reflect on the impacts of diplomacy versus striking Iran. It's pretty clear that he's waiting for the war to end on its own, because in 2 weeks, both Israel and Iran will be out of ammo. What other plan could there be? Is he waiting for Iran to expend their ammo on Israel, treating Israel like cannon fodder so that the US can go in unobstructed? It's just not realistic. The market is jittery for no reason, and no matter what Big Papa decides, we're going up as soon as the strategic ambiguity is over. I made this handy chart to demonstrate my point of view. Whether the US fights Iran or not, stocks are going up, with only one exception. That exception is if the US loses the war by getting nuked, in which case you're dead, and therefore you aren't concerned about gains anymore anyway. So as you can see, if you're bearish, there's not much hope for you. Regrettably, I'm going to close another week without more Crab Rangoon. It was pretty close at one point, but Soxal settled down bigly, and unless the market goes bonkers in the next 2 hours, all I'm coming away with this time is a $32 gain on a covered call. Almost all of my buying power is locked up in Soxal shares, and this means I'll be feasting on Rangoon as soon as we have peace in the Middle East, which is just around the corner. Come hang out in our Discord to see our dank memes, and drop me a like so I know I should keep doing this very serious market analysis. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.